SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader.
Your top stories this hour: France rejects claims over AU election preferences, and SATU members in the Eastern Cape prepare to strike. Good afternoon. France has rejected suggestions that it's not in favour of South African Home Affairs Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma being elected to head the AU Commission. The French Foreign Minister Alain Juppé has given that assurance during his bilateral meeting with his South African counterpart in Pretoria. There are suggestions that France wants to see the return of the current AU Commission chair, Jean Ping, who is also looking for a second term. The deadline for candidate submissions has passed, and Dlamini-Zuma faces only the Gabonese incumbent. His four-year term ends in February. Juppé says they respect the independence of African countries to make their own decisions. He says France has no intention of interfering with the process.
Very often we are suspected to intervene in domestic affairs of the African continent. That's not the new line of the French African policy as it has been developed by French President here in the Cape in 2008. We are keen to respect a strict neutrality, and we do not support any candidate to this election. It's up to the African countries.
President Jacob Zuma says addressing the challenge of dire poverty in the country remains pivotal to government. Zuma was speaking during a visit to the Ngutu local municipality, which falls under the Umzanyati district in KwaZulu-Natal. The district is one of the poorest and most rural in the country. The National Council of Provinces is today concluding its sitting in the area, which has been part of the program of taking parliament to the people. A large crowd is at the local stadium. Our reporter Zanele Buthelezi is also there.
Over the past 4 days, residents were given a chance to voice their complaints to members of the NCOP and government ministers about service delivery. Members of the NCOP were shocked to learn of severe water shortages, infrastructure backlogs, high unemployment and crime levels in the area. Addressing the NCOP sitting today, President Zuma says these challenges are countrywide problems which are made worse by issues such as increasing fuel prices. He says for this reason it's important for government to address them. Zuma says government is rolling out various socio-economic development programs while others have been planned for the future. These include housing projects to improve the living conditions of many people who are still housed in dilapidated mud structures. Zanele Buthelezi, SABC News, Ngutu.
Scores of SATU members have begun arriving at the Bishu Stadium in the Eastern Cape in preparation for their march to the office of the Premier. There's a heavy police presence in the area. The Education Department says no disruptions have been reported though, and exams have gone smoothly. The teachers' demands include the removal of Department Head Advocate Modidima Manya and the reinstatement of over 6,000 temporary teachers. COSATU says the open toll system is a modernized privatization of public roads. The Trade Union Federation was giving a presentation during public hearings into the Gauteng freeway tolling system. When it comes into effect next year, motorists will have to cut off 40 cents and motorbikes 23 cents per kilometre. COSATU, Sanko, the DA and a Centurion resident have petitioned the Gauteng legislature over the controversial system. COSATU's Dumisani Dakile says the implementation of the tolls will lead to massive job losses and will discourage people from seeking jobs.
There are more than 2 million workers who have lost hope of ever finding their job. This is a crisis which will have been made worse by the current system as proposed. The system will also even make it difficult for more than 4 million to go out and look for jobs. The country, therefore, is bound to see more and more discouraged people to look for jobs.
The DA in the Ngwati municipality in the Northern Free State has welcomed the arrest of 4 suspects over the municipality diary scandal. The men were arrested earlier today by the Hawks. They've been linked to the fraudulent purchase of 200 diaries. The diaries were bought at a cost of 925 rand each, despite a 50 rand per diary quote from a local supplier. The suspects implicated are the former municipal and supply chain managers, the director of community services, as well as the supplier who sold the diaries to the municipality. The DA's Arnold Skoenwinkel.
I'm very glad that suspects have been brought to book, although it took a very long time. I hope that they have done their job and that they will get a conviction against the guilty parties.
Moving abroad, the Italian parliament is beginning the task of passing long-delayed economic reforms. That's in an effort to end the country's and Eurozone's spiraling debt crisis. The upper house is expected to approve the package by the end of the day and the lower house over the weekend, which should lead to the promised resignation of Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. He is expected to be replaced by Mario Monti, a former EU commissioner. One MP, Federica Mocorini from the opposition Democratic Party, has described Monti as the right chance at the right moment.
We have to fix the problem, not only for Italy, but for the Eurozone, for the European Union, and for the world, probably, because we see how the markets are interlinked. And we are trying to do our best to speed up the process, to have a different government in a couple of days, not more, and to do whatever is needed to recover and make it sure that it's not too late. Hopefully we're still in time.
A recap of your top story this hour. France has rejected suggestions that it's not in favour of South African Home Affairs Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma being elected to head the AU Commission.